Yes, people, welcome back to Premsy TV. I hope everybody's blessed. Today, people, I'm going to be previewing the Arsenal vs Burnley game, which is tomorrow coming up. It's a very, very vital game that we've got, considering some of the fixtures that are getting played today and tomorrow as well. But just before we get into that, I just want to touch on the Liverpool game that we just lost, because I'm still very, very frustrated with being out of 2 cups in 2 weeks. Because that's not acceptable for Arsenal Football Club. And I'm hearing now that they want to give Arteta a 2-year extension already without the season even being done. Now that shows a lack of ambition for me, because they give him a 2-year extension. Yeah, he hasn't got an incentive to really push and drive for that top 4 spot, because we need Champions League football now. Because it's not acceptable getting knocked out of the FA Cup in the 3rd round and getting knocked out. Well, to be fair, Liverpool are a good side, but I just feel like they're a very, very weakened side without the best 3 players, arguably, within Alisson, Salah, Mane. You know, they come to the Emirates on the back of a 0-0 at Anfield. Arsenal got the tails up and we just couldn't deliver. Very disappointed. As soon as the goal went in from Jota, it was just back to lackadaisy football from Arsenal, and I'm just still very frustrated, because there's no way we should have give up that game without a serious fight. And I feel like we didn't put a proper fight in that game. It was just a flat game throughout after that first goal. This game against Burnley, for me, it's probably one of our most vital games. Even though they're sitting bottom of the league and they're not in great form, they sold Chris Wood, etc. It is very vital, because West Ham playing Man United right now, it's 0-0. It's about 20 minutes to go. So if they draw, that means both of them have dropped points. You know, you got Chelsea versus Tottenham tomorrow as well. Someone's going to drop points, if not both of them going to drop points, which will only benefit us to push on. But the problem is with us, when it matters, when we need them results, we can never pull it out the bag. So I just hope we can pull our finger out and really, really push on now for this top 4, because the players that came back in, i.e. Tomiyasu, I think it was one of his worst games that he's had since he's put the Arsenal shirt on. But, you know, he's been out for a few weeks. He needed to find his feet. The players just didn't look ready for me, to be honest with you. And this is why we need the signings in January, because the squad depth is very thin. I understand that, you know, now we've got 1 game a week and there's only going to be minimal players needed. But if we really want to push for that top 4, we need the depth, because players can get injured fast. Players can get injured. And once a couple players get injured, we're back to sideways football. And that needs to change. That really needs to change. And that's not going to help by offering Arteta another 2-year contract extension without us even getting that top 4, because he has to get top 4 for us. He's finished 8th twice, yeah, been knocked out in the 4th round, the 3rd round, and now we didn't even give it a real push in the semi-final of the Carling Cup, something that we've not been in for a hot sec. So you can't be rewarding a man with a 2-year contract after just getting knocked out. Doesn't make no sense to me. And this all comes down to the hierarchy of the club, the ambitions of the club, because the owners and the people in place, Vinay and these Edu and all of that, yeah, they can't understand, they can't think fans are happy that we're just being knocked out and start releasing news that they're going to be extending people's contracts. Because they need to take a look at themselves, because now in this window in January, it's so vital to make them signings. They're putting all the eggs in the basket for Vlahovic. What I'm hearing, the reports I'm hearing, that the players humming and hawing. Personally, I love him to come. And I believe if you put the money on the table for any player and it's right, they'll come. But if his heart's not in it and he doesn't want to play for Arsenal Football Club, then he can go fuck himself. Yeah, because we need players that want to play for the badge. We need to get back up there, challenging for the title. We need to get back up there, challenging for the cups, getting in the Champions League, and actually becoming a big club again. Because at the moment, we're just a big club in name. And that's how it is. Because the football on the pitch, yeah, is very inconsistent. is very, very inconsistent. I can't see why we can't go in and try to get Frank Kessie. He's a top midfielder. Clubs are looking at him around Europe. And he's a good number 6, something that we need. He's young. He fits the bill to the project that's going on right now. He's going to be out of contract. And we should just put some money down and sign him, because it's very doable. And yeah, people say it's hard to sign players in January, but this is a player that's almost out of contract. That's not impossible. It's something we really need. And I just don't want it to be the sake of us wasting all this time on Vlahovic, yeah, and we end up getting no cover. Because if Eddie Nketiah stays, he's not good enough. You can't see a way back for Aubameyang. And Lacazette, he's good with the link-up play, but he doesn't give you enough goals. He's going to be leaving in 6 months. So we need a striker in. And if we don't get a striker in, then I think them top 4 chances are going to be gone. And if we have an injury, we're sad. Because if that's the case, then we're going to have to bring Martinelli and put him as a striker for me, and bring Pepe on one of the wings, because we're very, very thin. Ooh, Antonio almost just scored. Had a good shot then. But yeah, Burnley is a real test, because normally we play against Burnley. We won 1-0 away, and it was a tough test, because they're very physical players. In the midfield at the moment, especially against Liverpool, we didn't look physical one bit. Partey's not going to be there as well. I think Xhaka might be. Not 100% sure if Xhaka's going to be available or not, because I can't remember if he got a straight red or if it was 2 yellows. But it's all fuckery. Everything's at the moment is not looking in a positive direction unless we start moving in the transfer market, because we've got like 9 days to go now, and we're always leaving everything last minute. If we've had a clear plan from the start and this process is to be trusted, why is players not already walked through the door? Why we've loaned out players and we've not had we've had nobody in the background lined up to come in straight away, because the squad is running thin and we're seeing it game on game now, and the contrasting performance with the different players is massive. So we need a stable 11 that we can keep playing week in, week out now, because we've only got 1 game a week. 1 game a week. There should be no excuses now not to try to clinch that top 4 spot, because United don't look great. West Ham, yeah, they're getting points, but we've got a couple games in hand on them. Chelsea could be dragged right back into the fourth spot race. And also Spurs, yeah, they probably got the best manager, but I don't think their team is actually great. So we've got a very good chance of doing it. But every time we have a good chance of doing it, we never do, because we can never pull the money out and sign them 1-2 players that we need to just get over the line. And it just becomes frustrating. It becomes really frustrating, because as fans, we can all see it. So if we can all see it, they must be able to see it, and it needs fixing, because it's not acceptable going out of 2 cups. Burnley, bottom of the table, they're in a crisis at the moment, but they're going to be up for the game. They need to fight for every single point, so we can't take them lightly. They've got no Chris Wood up front as well, which I'm buzzing about, because normally he's always bullying man up. You know, he's a big lad, and he's giving our defence a tough time, so I'm glad they got no Chris Wood. But we can't take them lightly. We've got to play some good football. We've got to try to get the players back to the best, and now just focus on 1 game a week. After this game, I think we've got a little break. Then we've got Wolves and a little break again. So we really need to be focusing on the pitch, off the pitch. And them weeks that we've got gap, 5 weeks, I think we need to be literally focusing on the training pitch and getting players fit and up to scratch, because we need to really push. And I'm just sick and tired of always being let down. Even the season when Leicester won the league, we were just a few signings off from maybe challenging it or winning it ourselves, but we let it go, we fucked it up. Shit needs to change. It needs to change fast. Prediction for the game, people. For me, I think it's going to be 3-1 to Arsenal. I think we're always open to giving a goal away, but I just want to see a good performance and a reaction from the boys. So for me, 3-1 to Arsenal. Home fixture. Really, that's what we should be doing to teams like Burnley at home. Peace and love, people. On to the next one.